Everyone. Good afternoon. So, how is everybody doing? Hope you're good. And I'm sorry I'm 2 minutes late today. I'm sorry for the delay. Hope Uma ma'am has joined us. Uma ma'am, are you there? Can you please turn on your video?
Am I audible and visible?
Yes, ma'am. Very much. Hello, Uma ma'am. How are you?
Fine, doing well.
As
Thank you.
beautiful and vibrant as always. And I love your saris. Beautiful collection you have.
Thank you.
Amazing, amazing. So let me introduce Uma ma'am to the club. She is one lady whom I look up to, whom I love from the core of my heart, whom I respect with all my heart. And yes, I'm a little bit jealous of her because this constructive jealousy keeps me moving on. I want to be as active as her when I am of her age. Definitely, I look up to her for this. So thank you, Uma ma'am, for your valuable time. And yes, the genre which she is going to take today, the art of storytelling. Children, let me tell you, she is a master in that. She is going to share some amazing stories with you, and I bet I am pretty sure that after this workshop, lot of takeaways, lot of insights you all will have, and you will also be able to master this technique. So, a very quick introduction of Uma ma'am. Uma ma'am is an IELTS certified coach for all the kids for whom this IELTS term is new. It's an international English language test series. And she is a teacher by profession. She is a Toastmaster by passion. And she has more than 50 plus table topic certificates to her credit. She's a runner up in area level humor contest in 2021, and she has helped hundreds of students realize that English is fun. So I hope you also realize today that English is fun with Uma ma'am. So Uma ma'am, we love you so much. Thank you for being here. The virtual stage is all yours.
Thank you so much, Surabhi, for the kind words. I'm really excited to be in front of all of you children. Storytelling is a great art. And Surabhi ma'am, she has told so much about me, but I don't know whether I'll be equal to that. I'll try my best to share whatever little that I know. Okay. So I'm so excited to share some stories and also hear some stories from you. How about you? You can just raise your hands and also put in chat if you're some ground rules. Only when you're unmuted, you have to speak. If you want to speak, you can raise your hands and also message on the chat. Okay. So we will be having some activities, some quiz also related to stories. So I may give you a theme and ask you a story. I may tell a story and ask you the moral. So we are going to have fun. Are you excited? I'm excited. You can just put on the chat if you're excited saying me. Okay. I'm going to tell you a small story now. They say stories are
Oh, ma'am, you are on mute. Ma'am, by mistake, I think you're on mute. Can you unmute yourself, ma'am?
yeah.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to tell you a story about Supandi the simpleton. So this is Uncle Pi character. He's a very funny character. I don't know whether you have read his stories. So in case you have not read, you please read them. He is my very favorite character. Okay. So here's a story. Supandi was employed with a landlord. And once it so happens that his brother was not feeling well. And then his brother says, I'm feeling very hot. I'm having fever. Can you take me to the doctor? Then Supandi says, why not, brother? I'll take you to the doctor. Come. And he takes him to the doctor. The doctor examines him and says, Supandi, your brother is burning hot with fever. No, doctor, that's not possible, he says. Why is it not possible? Because only spoons in our house, doctor, he says. Huh? Did you get the joke? He says he has got only 2 spoons in his house. Okay, so that is humor. No, you must have realized variety of story was this. You can just type in chat. This was a humorous story. I'm sure you must have guessed it. So here's one more story for you. I just want you to type what are the different kinds of stories that you know. Other than humor, what other stories that you know? What are the varieties of stories you know? As you're listening to this story, you can just type what are the other types of stories that you know. Horror, adventures. Yes, very good. Here's one more story for you as you're typing. It so happened that there were 2 friends, a lump of clay and a leaf. One day they were chatting and they became so close that they became very good friends. And as they were chatting, it so happened there was a strong wind and it turned out into a gale. And what happened? The leaf was about to be flown away and the lump of clay didn't want that to happen. So what it did, it immediately went and sat on top of that leaf. And then it saved the leaf. After some time, they started chatting again. Then, after some time, what happened? It started raining. Now, it was the turn of the leaf to go and stand on top of the lump of clay like an umbrella. And it protected the lump of clay so well that it did not get wet at all. And soon the rain stopped. And then again, they started chatting happily. Do you know what they chatted? Can you guess what they chatted? Anybody who knows, you can raise your hand. Yeah, Reet, you can unmute and tell me.
They were chatting. They started chatting about the rain.
Okay.
How they saved each other from the rain.
Yes, very good. So both of them saved each other. And what is the moral you learn from this story? You got some message from this story? Yeah, Yusra, you can unmute.
It is it gives us the message about the friendship.
Yes. Any proverb you can quote from this story?
A friend in need is a friend indeed.
Very good. A friend in need is a friend indeed. Indeed. So always you have to help each other. In when you are in trouble, you go to each other's help. So you have now humor stories. Then you listen to one story with a moral. Then what other kinds of stories do you know? Horror stories somebody wrote. Then inspiring stories. No, there are so many people from whom we can learn biographies, is it not? Swami Vivekananda, then Sachin Tendulkar, Dhoni, Abdul Kalam. We have so many inspiring people from whom we can learn inspirational stories, motivational stories. No, so in table topics or in prepared speech, do you think that storytelling plays a very important role? Yes, very good. So what do you think? If you tell stories, what will happen? Will people like your speech? What makes your speech likable by them? Anybody can raise your hands and tell me. If you tell a story, why will they like your speech? Yes, Manisha?
May I?
Yeah, I'll give everybody a chance. Okay, Pavani? Pavani, can
Yes,
she?
ma'am. Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
yeah.
Ma'am, it will the audience will get interest in.
Okay.
They will get interest in our speech actually.
Okay, you get connected with the audience easily.
Yes.
And more so if it is a personal story. No? And if you can give an analogy, like how you had a very good friend and that friend helped you when you were in danger. You can give an analogy. Analogy means comparison. No, you can tell this story also. You can tell your personal story also if you have time. Okay, so that will immediately connect you to the audience. And also every story, it should have a setup, a struggle, and also a success at the end. So there should be some situation, then how you end it, how that solution is also given an end, and a message also should be given. No, every story should have a message, what you want to convey. It could be a moral, any message. No, so that will suppose they give you a table topic, and if you are prepared with a story for every table topic, how nice it will be. Won't it be exciting? So what should you do to get so many stories? What are the source of stories? From where can you get stories? Yeah, Dhriti?
We can read books.
Wow, yes, very good. You can read books. Then,
Ma'am, we can also search on YouTube like some motivational stories of some people who are very successful. So we might get it on YouTube as well. And I also watch motivational speakers on YouTube as well.
okay. And how about your grandparents? Are they not a great source of stories? You agree with me? You can raise your hands. No? So I always used to listen to my grandfather. Whenever I went for a holiday, I used to listen with glued eyes. He used to tell me stories, and maybe that's why I like stories so much. He used to tell me stories of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, Casablanca, then Ali Baba and the 40 Thieves. So many stories. I even remember it even now, so vividly. And nowadays, after I became a teacher, it helped me so much in my teaching also. And then in Toastmasters during table topics. So stories play a very important role in your speeches. So remember that. And now we are ready to go to the quiz. Just before that, I want to tell you something else. Like you all must be knowing to paint. No, you all are interested in painting, drawing. So do you also know that you can paint with words? Can you paint with words? When you tell a story, can you paint with words? No? So when you paint with words, what happens? Like suppose I want to describe a car. If I just say, I saw a car parked in the driveway, will you be excited to hear about that? No? If I tell you something more, if I say, I saw the sleek red apple car gleaming in the sunlight, if I say something like that, it is more impressive, is it not? So just like we paint and color a picture, we can even color a story with words. No? So the more adjectives you add, the more imagination, the more creativity you put into a story, it adds more value to that story. So are you ready for the quiz? You keep all these points in mind. Every story should have the setup, the struggle, the success, and also finally the message. It could be a moral also. No? And before we go to that, I just want to ask you, what are the different kinds of stories you have read so far? Like the tales. Can you name some tales which you know? You can even type on the chat, and I want everybody to participate. Only few people are participating. You can name the stories, whichever you have read. Yeah, anybody raise your hand and you can tell me. Like tales, what are the different tales you have read? Anybody? Yeah, Yusra?
Ma'am, I have read like Harry Potter and Tinkerbell and story of Peter Pan and also
Okay,
many stories there were many stories like I got a book from my school as a gift because I came first in my class, and
okay.
it was containing the stories of Akbar and Birbal. So I
Mm-hmm.
really loved that book, and two times I got that book from my school. And
Wonderful,
my most favorite series of books is Harry Potter. I really love it.
wonderful. So Harry Potter, Peter Pan, and then Akbar Birbal. Wonderful. Then Amina?
Ma'am, I had read till now Harry Potter.
Hmm.
It's a whole series. Wonder Tales, The Three Bears, and the one most, as Jivi Yusra said that she loved Harry Potter. The most favorite novels, the tales in my is Harry Potter only by
Okay,
J.K. Rowling.
wonderful. Trisha, yeah, you can tell me. Trisha, what are your favorite stories?
Trisha,
Kushbu,
where is Trisha? Yeah, Trisha,
you
can
have
you
raised your
unmute
hand.
her?
Trisha, you want to tell something?
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am. I mostly read novels, but also some stories and comics. My favorite till now is the story of these sisters by these Stallion, and also my favorite novel is Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. It is also the fattest book of the whole series, and I have read the whole series. And currently, I'm reading Percy Jackson.
Wow, wonderful. So I also have to learn a lot of new stories from you. Names of news, books, and authors. Wonderful. Okay. Anybody else who has not spoken?
Bara?
Arisha?
Ma'am, may I?
Yeah, Varun.
Ma'am, may I?
Yeah,
Yes,
tell
Bara.
me.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, my favorite books, ma'am, I have read many books and I generally lean into the fantasy genre. Like books like Harry Potter and Morgan Crow, which is a series by Jessica Townsend. That is my favorite series. And I am recently reading Wuthering Heights by Emily Bront. And I am going, after that, I will read 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea and Wind in the Willows. And I have also read Akbar and Birbal stories, by Noddy, and many more. I've read many books.
Okay.
But
Wonderful. So it was great listening to all of you. So let me also name a few. I see many more hands. I'll ask you after some time, maybe after one round of quiz. Okay. Are you all ready for the quiz now? Okay. So the quiz goes like this. I will be telling the outline of a story and you have to name the character. Who is that character I'm telling? Okay. You can either type on chat or you can raise your hand, and if given a chance, you can speak. Okay. The first one, there was a king who was very fond of gold. He was very greedy and he wanted to touch whatever he touches. He wished that it became gold, and suddenly, really, it became gold. Who was that king? You know the name of the king? Yes, I think many of you have written. Dhriti, Surana. Yeah, Vara, can you name the king? I saw it on the chat also. It is King
ma'am,
Midas.
King Midas.
Yes, very good. It was King Midas. He wished that whatever he touched become gold, and really it became gold. And then he got into trouble, and he touched his daughter, and she also became gold. And then he repented, and his tear fell on his daughter, and then she revived, and he realized. What did he realize? What moral or what message he got? Yes, Madiha? Madiha, you can tell? Yeah.
He realized that so much greediness is not good.
Yeah, we should not be greedy. So in case you are given a topic on we should not be greedy, you can tell the story of King Midas. No? So you create a story bank on different topics so that, and you keep repeating it. Otherwise you'll forget. So whenever you're attending different table topic sessions or prepared speeches, whenever you get a chance to include this story, you can take out from your story bank and tell that story. Will it not be wonderful? So create a story bank of your personal story and also stories like this. Okay, the second question now. There was a poor girl in a kingdom and she wanted to go and dance with the prince of the kingdom. There was an announcement that whoever was beautiful and if the prince liked her, he would marry her. And there was a god mother who helped this girl And exactly at the stroke of 12, she had to come back home. Who was this girl? Yes, Kritika? You can put on the chat too. I got from Madiha, the answer is Cinderella. Very good. Many of you seem to know the answers. You have read a lot of stories, I guess. Very nice. Okay, the next one. Open sesame. Open sesame. Khulja sesam. Who is this character? There was a cave, and for the cave to open, that person had to tell these words. Open sesame. Yeah, who's that? Who was that character? Kushbu? Anybody? Who was the
Alibaba. Alibaba.
Alibaba and the 40 Thieves. Have you all read the story about Alibaba and the 40 Thieves? If not, please read it. It's a really wonderful story. Okay. Then the next one. There was a magical lamp, and one day this boy gets this magical lamp and he wishes that whatever he wishes comes true. Who is this boy? Wow, Pavani, Kushbu, many of you have given the answers. Aladdin and the magic lamp. There was a movie also about him. I don't know whether you have seen it. Okay, good. Just one more. There was a girl who went into the forest, and by chance, she happens to see a beautiful house with 3 or 4 beds. And she's very tired, and then she sleeps on the bed. And when she gets up, she is very frightened to see some animals in front of her. Who is this girl? Yes, Sreshta? I'll give you a clue. There are some bears standing in front of her. Who's that girl? Anvi?
Anvi, okay.
Goldilocks.
Yes, you're right. Goldilocks and the 3 bears. There was a mother bear, dad bear, and a baby bear. Yes. So all of you seem to know a lot of stories. Very good. Okay, now it's going to be a different one. Here I will tell you the theme and you have to tell me the story. Okay, I will give you the message. You have to tell me a story suitable to that. Not a very long story, just a 1-minute story. Short story you have to tell me. Okay. The title is Tit for Tat. Tit for Tat. Who is going to tell the story? Harisha? You have to be very quick. Just 1 minute.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah.
So once upon a time, one man was there whose name is Chaganlal, and he was having a lot of losses in his business. So he decided to sell everything, his house also. So he sold his everything and he wanted to settle in a different town. So and there was one oh, one cupboard which it was of his grandmothers and grandfathers. So he couldn't sell that. So he kept that uh, cupboard to he gave that cupboard to his friend, and then he went to another town. When he returned back, he had made a lot of profits, and he had bought a new house, and he had restarted his own the business he used to do. Then he went to his friend and he asked for that cupboard. The friend said that it was eaten by ants. He thought, how could a cupboard will be eaten by the ants? Then he said, then he understood everything. Then he said that let me take your son and we will go and bathe in the Ganga river. and by this he he gave his son to Chaganlal, and Chaganlal took his son and just locked him in a room, and he went to the his friend and said that he has been picking up by vulture. Then his friend was like, no, how could it be like this? Then he said that if a cupboard can be eaten by the ants, then why cannot a vulture pick up a, a kid? Then he realized his mistake, and this is called as tit for tat.
Wow, wow, wonderful, wonderful. You can even tell a smaller story, no? Because you will have very limited time. So people also will not have the patience to listen to such a long story, but I really commend you for telling such a long story. Very good. So you can think about the fox and the crane. That is a shorter story, no? And you can also give an analogy from your personal life. Okay, so should we take revenge eye to eye? You can also contradict and tell. The fox and the crane, they took revenge on each other, but we can always forgive and forget. You can end like that. I want to forgive and forget. How about you? You can ask a question to the audience and end it like that. So let us give a big clap to Arisha for that wonderful story. Okay, so the next question now. Unity is strength. This is the theme. Unity is strength. Who is going to speak on that?
Okay, Reed, go ahead.
Yeah. Short
Can I
story.
begin?
Yeah.
Once there were many cows. They were very good friends. One day, a lion saw all of them. The lion wanted to eat them, but they were always united. So one day the lion decided to do something. He told one cow that he told a few cows that the other cows did not love him. So those so a few of the cows stopped talking to the other cows. The lion did that. The lion made up stories and told all of the cows that they didn't love each other. So when they stopped talking to each other, they were divided. So the lion began to kill one by one, and soon the lion killed all of them. So the moral of the story is unity is strength.
Wonderful, wonderful. United we stand, divided we fall. Is it not? So very good.
Yes,
Read.
that's moral.
Yeah. So you can
could I
try
tell
to.
you something?
Yeah.
Could I tell you something?
Yeah. Tell me.
This is the book I wrote.
Wonderful, wonderful. A book written by you. Very good. Keep it up. Okay. So we move on to the next question now. A big clap to Reed also for the wonderful story. Thank you. The next message or proverb you have to speak on is always tell the truth. Always tell the truth. A short and sweet story. Who can tell me? Always tell the truth. Dhriti? Yeah.
Once upon a time, there was a woodcutter who used to cut wood to live his earning. One day he was cutting wood and his axe suddenly fell on the water. He began crying and from the water came and fell, and she asked, "Why are you crying?" He replied, "My axe was I was cutting with my axe and it fell underwater. So the fairy went down and brought him a golden axe. She asked, "Is this your axe?" The woodcutter replied, "No, it is not mine." So she again went down in the water and she came up with a silver axe. So she asked, "Is this your axe?" So he replied, "No, this is not my axe." And finally she went down and came up with his own axe. And then he replied, "Yes, this is my axe." The fairy was very happy with his honesty and gave him all the three axes. The moral of the story is we should always tell the truth.
Yeah, wonderful. This was the story I also was thinking of, and you told it beautifully. Wonderful. So one more message or one more question. Kudos to you, Dhriti. Let me give you one more question. Slow and steady wins the race. Slow and steady wins the race. I want somebody who has not answered. Surabhi can select anybody who has not answered.
Okay, Harshit. Can you unmute yourself, child? Yeah, okay.
Yes. So I studied wins the race. So this is the story.
Harshit, you're not audible. You're on mute. Please unmute yourself. Yeah, start again.
Sorry, ma'am. I was telling about the previous story, ma'am.
No, the topic is slow and steady wins the race. Do you want to speak or should I ask somebody else?
Ma'am, I was speaking on the previous topic.
No. Can you speak on this topic? Slow and steady wins the race, or should I choose somebody else?
Ma'am, can you choose somebody else, ma'am? Because I don't know.
That's okay. That's okay. Somebody else can speak.
Okay. Fine. Let me select somebody else. Okay, so we have Paridhi.
Yes, ma'am. Once upon a time, there was a boy who was studying. And then her teacher tell there was a race in a school, and who will participate. Then the boy go on to his house and tell her mother for the race. Then her mother said, "Okay, you will do race." Then the boy study, and then the boy practice very much, and when the race begins, the boy practice. That's why the boy wins the race, and the boy was very happy because he wins the race. And when he go to home, he tell her mother, mom, I win the race." Then both mother and child were very happy. Thank you.
Good attempt. I remember listening to the story of Hare and Tortoise. Have you all listened to that story? The Hare and the Tortoise? So that can be a good story for slow and steady wins the race. Anybody can tell that story? Hare and the Tortoise? Anybody wants to tell about that? Hare and the Tortoise. Good. Paridhi, very good. Can I ask Harshit now? Are you ready? Harshit?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I am ready with another story also.
For this topic, slow and steady wins the race. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. There was an exam, and there in that exam there were 3 sections, and in that 3 sections there were 50 boys, and 2 boys were very fast in maths, And in that 3 sections, the first section was mental maths, and there was a boy who was not good in mental maths, but he was good in multiplication and division. So for that 2 boys who were good in mental maths, they started the competition, and they go very fastly to, and completed the section. But they couldn't complete the second and third section fastly. Till then, the boy who was weak in mental maths was doing the mental math section very slowly. And when he did the mental math section, he just jumped onto a multiplication and division section, and he completed very fast. And the 2 boys who were very fast in the mental math section, they were still doing the multiplication section, and they have not completed yet the 2 sections. The moral of the story is that the boy who was slower win the race, and the boy who were very fast, they lose the race because they were feeling overconfident. And the moral of the story is this also, that the slow and steady wins the race.
Okay. It looked like a personal story or a story which you have heard or observed. Good, great attempt. Okay. Now, before we go on to the next section, it was a wonderful participation by all of you. So kudos to all of you. So this is how you have to learn how to develop from a story message and message to a story. It will be very helpful to you in your table topic section. So start making a story bank. You want one topic, write the story for that. You can create your own story and also give an analogy from the stories which you have read. And you have done 2 workshops about impromptu speaking and also body language. So you have to use body language and your voice modulation when you are expressing. No, like suppose in the forest, the lion is roaring. You make the sound of the lion. So when you're actually doing that sound, you will be entering that character and you will be giving that impression to people as if you're in the forest, the lion is coming. So whatever voice modulation you want to do, you incorporate that. And suppose you're saying, I'm surprised. So your facial expression was shocked. So whenever you want to express something, you show both in your voice modulation and also in your body language. So that will add more value to your speech. I'm sure you are learning from everyone as we are. Okay, so let us move on. Just one more tip I want to give you. Like suppose you want to make some topics. What all you can think about? Like you want to, they will give you some table topics. You don't know what topic they're going to give. So you can yourself write down some topics which you can prepare on. Here are some ideas for you. Like for example, you can write your day at school, if you remember. When you were very young, like when you can recollect, how was your first day at school? You can remember about that and you can write down. And then your first pet. What was your first pet? You can write about that. And if in case you get a topic, you can speak about that. Anybody wants to speak about that topic? First pet? Harisha?
I want to
already given a chance. Anybody else who wants to speak?
Who has not spoken yet? Yes,
Yeah.
Alina. Okay, we have Alina raising her hand.
Hello, ma'am, and hello, everyone. And my topic is my pet. Well, I'm a single child of 2 parents, and I felt very lonely. I used to spend a long time with me and my toys. I used to be like very sad. So I thought of an idea. Why not to buy a sister? I told that idea to my mom. Mom, please buy me a sister. So she was like, okay,
chickens are not sold in the market, but yeah, pets can be. So I said, what are pets? I was like a 5-year-old, so I didn't knew what was a pet. So my father and my mom briefed me, explained me in brief, and then they said that select what you want. You want a rabbit, you want a cat, dog, you want a parrot. Then I thought that a parrot would like more loud, and a cat would be like it would need more comfort. A dog would bark so loudly. I'm having a very light heart, so if somebody speaks very loudly, I get like frightened very easily. So I thought, why not to get birds? They are so cute. I love to hear the chirpings, and I love different colors. So I bought birds, two birds. One was white and one was green and black. White and blue and green and black. Then I kept the cage in the balcony of my room. Then the next day I saw the feathers on the ground and they were by a cat who was roaming around. I was so about them and I feel so bad for them. Like I spent 2 to 3 hours with them and then I slept. So yeah, that was my first pet. That was a pretty sad story of my pet. And yeah, that's all from my side.
Wonderful, wonderful. You have just painted the story with your words. Beautiful. We could almost imagine the way you told about your pet. It was wonderful. Keep it up. Okay. Here are some more topics which you can just write down and try it later before we move on to the next activity. It is about your childhood best friend. You can write about your childhood best friend and speak about it later. Then favorite vacation. First time you gave your speech on stage. I want somebody to try this. First time you gave your speech on stage. Anybody who has not tried before? First time you gave your speech on stage. How did you feel? You can tell about that experience.
We have Jenny and Jolly
Yeah.
raising their hands.
You can unmute and answer.
Who wants to speak, Jenny or Jolly?
Both.
No, both cannot speak at the same time, child. Okay, so one of you has to go for it, right? And
One of you.
You are twins? Are you twins?
Yeah.
Okay, so who is Jenny? Who is Jolly?
This is Jen, this is Jolly. So I'm Jenny and I'm Jolly.
Okay, yellow one is Jenny and white one is
Yeah.
Jolly. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So who's going to
Yeah,
speak?
go ahead.
Me.
Okay, fine. Start.
So one day we just went to Mumbai and we started living there at my nanny's house. And Mama took admission in a school, and the day she took it and the day I have to go in that school was like a speaking day. Like it was like Independence Day and we had to speak on something. So it was like I had to speak on the first day. On my first day of the school, I had to give a speech. And I was a bit of nervous, but I just gave the speech. So firstly, I went to school and I have to sit down first. I was so nervous, like what am I gonna do? But I just prepared the speech at home, so I was not too nervous what I'm gonna speak. So it was about Independence Day, and I'm like, okay, I can do this. I got this. And then I was waiting for my turn, and I'm like, oh, I'm so nervous. And I was just thinking, what will I do? What will I do? What if I get confused? I don't know. And then I just like, okay, it's okay, chill. And then it was my turn. I was like, oh, and they just call out me like, Jaini, come up on the stage. I'm like, oh, okay. It was my first of the school and I had to give a speech. It was like so interesting. And I'm like, yeah, let's try it. Let's give it a shot. So I just went up in the stage and then they just spoke like, okay, Jenny's going to give the speech. And I'm like, okay, I'll just give a speech. And I just spoke about the Independence Day. But I was like, wait, what if I just skip a part? But so what happened? There's a twist. So I just spoke the front one and I spoke the last part because I was so nervous that I just leaved it. And they're like, okay, very nice, very nice. I'm like, I just leave the last part. And then daddy's like, why did you leave the last part? You should have just told it. That was the main part. I'm like, sorry, I just couldn't do it. He's like, okay, at least you gave it a shot. And I was like, yes, I did it. and I just enjoyed my first day of school, and I get to introduce my class, and we just have fun all day long. It was so nice.
Wonderful, wonderful. The way you told it really bowled us over. You enacted as if you spoke in front of the stage. With your body language, voice modulation, everything was super. Your sister also wants to try? She wants to try?
One question, Uma ma'am, I want to ask Jenny.
Yes.
Jenny, was it your mother who took admission in the school, or was it you who got admitted to the school?
No, like we both got the admission in the school, and my mama took it.
I'm just pulling your leg because in a flow when you were speaking, you said my mother took admission in the school. Okay, so I'm just pulling your leg. That is fine. Okay, and it happens with all of us. That is a slip of tongue which happens with all of us. Okay, so Jolly, do you want to give it a try?
Let me think. I haven't given a speech. Actually, she
That's okay.
didn't give any speech on the stage yet. Yeah, she have made many videos.
Fine. You can participate in some other activity. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Great.
Thank you all.
Yeah. So one more question I have, you can just note it down. What were some of your favorites when you were a child? The childhood memories. This will usually be a table topic favorite question. What were your childhood memories? No, you are still children. I have answered this in my table topic session, so I remember it very well. So I would like to narrate to you one of my favorite memories. So when I was a child, I remember I used to go for playing at 5 o'clock and come back at 6 o'clock on dot. And between 5 to 6 o'clock, I used to visit all my friends' house, and whatever information I had to convey to them. In the first house, when I pull my first friend, I'll tell this is what is news from my side, and I used to collect news from their house. And then go to the second friend's house and collect information from their house and pass on information from the first house to them. And it went on like that. And by the time I came home, I had a bouquet of news, I should say. Everything I used to just tell my mother. So this is what happened. That is what happened. And I used to be called Radio Uma. No, there used to be one newspaper called Malai Murasu in Tamil Nadu. We were in Coimbatore that time. So Malai Murasu was the evening daily. So like that, my name was called as Radio Uma. So all the news I used to broadcast. So this happened in their house, this happened in their house. So this I told in one of my table topics, and no, I won a prize there. So like that, you can, what do you say, any incident or any personal incident you remember, you can just exaggerate it and you can just tell it. So that will always help you in your speeches. Okay, so we are going to have one last activity. I'm going to show you a picture, and seeing this picture, using your creativity, you have to tell a story. So always pictures help us to improve imagination and creativity. So this, I told this story during one of my interviews in a school. And I had written that my hobbies was storytelling. And I thought I will be asked to tell a story, and they asked me to tell a story. So here I want somebody to just see, there are 3 animals here, and you have to give a message also. You have to tell a short and crisp story with a message. Who is ready? And incidentally, Magic Pot is a wonderful book with beautiful stories for young children, maybe in the age of 6 to 8. It is useful for them. You can go through this magazine. Okay, who is ready to tell a story seeing this picture? You can raise your hands if you're ready. After you tell, I'll tell my story also, what I told.
Ma'am, please show the picture once again.
Yeah. Are you all able to see?
Okay, so there are
3 animals, one bird and a tiger in a forest. So using these 3 animals in the forest, you have to create a story.
Okay, Yusra, go along.
You're on mute.
Yusra, you're not audible, child. Can you remove the headphones and then speak, maybe? No, just speak again.
Hello.
Yeah, you
Am
are
I
audible.
audible?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're audible now.
Okay. So what happened? Once in a forest, there lived a bird, and what happened? That bird was like it was a crow. So what happened? That the crow thought that why am I black in color? Why my voice is so much like terrible that people just say shoo when I sit anywhere in their house or anytime in parks or anywhere. So that crow was very much disheartened and was very much disappointed by its appearance. What happened? It went to a Brahmin, and it went to a Brahmin and asked Brahmin, why is it with me? Why am I like this? Brahmin said, okay, if I give you one chance to to make you transform into another animal, so who would you choose? So the crow said, yes, I would love to become a giraffe. See, a giraffe is having a very tall neck, and it can see the views like far away places. It can also see and grab fruits from the trees very easily. And it is very large in size, and everybody loves giraffe. So what happened? Brahmin said, "Okay, I will transform you into a giraffe, but before that, you should go to giraffe and ask him that how his life is. Does he like his life?" So what happened? The crow went to the giraffe and asked giraffe, "Hello. So what? Like, see at look at yourself. You are so much having a tall neck, and everybody adores you, and you can grab fruits very easily. Have a faraway views." So Giraffe said, "You think that this is a life? What kind of life is this? Whenever someone wishes, they carry me to the zoo and keep them and display me in the zoo, and everybody is like, see, look, it is a giraffe, and nobody lets me live in a calm environment. What kind of life it is? You are having a wonderful life. Nobody judges you, and you travel like freely everywhere." Then both crow and giraffe went to the Brahmin, and they asked Brahmin, "What kind of life we are having? What kind of life is this?" Brahmin said, "Okay, if I give you a chance to transform, like if I give you a wish and you'll be able to fulfill that, I would transform you into another animal. Whom would you choose?" Then both the animals replied, "We would love to become a lion. Life of a lion is so much beautiful. He is the king of jungle, and whenever he wishes, like every animal is scared of lion. That is so much, and his roar is amazing." So what happened? Brahmin said, "Okay, I will transform you into lion, but before that, go and ask lion." What happened? The both animals went to lion and asked him, "How is your life? Your life is so much amazing, so much mesmerizing that everyone adores you, and some people like wish to become like you. Most of the animals of the jungle wish to become like you." What happened? Lion said, "Just keep quiet for some time. Can you hear something?" Giraffe and Crow replied, "No, we can't hear nothing." Lion said, "See, I can hear the footsteps of a hunter. The hunter is coming towards me. It will capture me very soon. So, and what kind of life am I having? They will just make my like separate me from my skin, and they will make things out of my skin. It will be so much painful. I'm not having a happy life." What happened? The all three animals went to the Brahmin. Brahmin replied, "This is what happens. You should stay happy in what you are. You should not think that, oh, this person is having this talent and this skill. Why am I not having?" It is nothing like that. We all are perfectly imperfect, and that's perfectly all right. That's all from my side. Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful, Yusra. So that was a wonderful message that you gave, that each of us are unique and we should be happy with what we have. That is the same message which I gave also in my story for the same topic. The bird was feeling very bad that it is very small compared to the giraffe and the tiger. They were all good friends. But Meenu the bird in Raipur the forest told Jambu the giraffe and Bolu the or Bravo the tiger that, "See, I'm feeling very sad. You all are able to run to different places, and giraffe is able to run here and there. and tiger is able to hunt, but I'm not able to do anything. But then both giraffe and tiger told, no, when we come in the evening tired, you mesmerize us with your beautiful song, and we are so happy listening to you. So Meenu said, is it? Do I sing so well? Yes, yes, you sing beautifully. And then Meenu realized that she was also unique. She was also beautiful. So that's how today all of you have showed that you are unique. Each of you are unique, and each of you have wonderful stories to tell. And I really enjoyed listening to all of your stories. And I want you to incorporate your personal stories and also whatever stories you read from books. Reading is a great habit. Develop that and become great speakers. Wishing you all most and more. Hope you enjoyed the session.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Uma ma'am.
Thank you
for giving us so many inputs. And I definitely know that children will be having a lot of takeaways. They might be making extensive notes today. And yes, we could not have enough of you. I mean, you are an ocean of learning. And I wish we could extend this meeting for another 1 hour. I can see children smiling. They are enjoying your session like anything. So yes, let me allow you to unmute yourself and just say how many of us want Uma ma'am again. Just say, ma'am, we want Uma ma'am again. How many of you?
Ma'am, we want
Ma'am, we want Uma
Ma'am,
ma'am
we want
again.
Uma ma'am again.
We want Uma ma'am again.
I was so nervous. How am I going to conduct this session? Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. It was an amazing session. It was like, I mean, I cannot describe in words. Listening from you is always a treat. I never miss your videos. Whenever I am surfing SAG family and your video is there, I listen to the complete video. So listening to you is always so good, so insightful, and I learn so much from you. So thank you, ma'am, for being there. Okay, now because we don't have time for the Q&A session, children, if there is any question which you want to ask Uma ma'am related to storytelling, just drop a message in your Gavels Club. Or you can, those who are not in Gavels Club, they can drop a message personally to me. I will convey your message to Uma ma'am and she will answer you. Okay. Now, I will like all of you to turn on your video so that you can have a quick picture. You can put your favorite emoji. You can just give a victory sign. And Harshit, I would like you to please take a screenshot. There is some problem with my screenshot. Okay. Yes. Everybody, smile, say cheese. Okay. Harshit, are we done? Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Surabhi, for the opportunity. Love you, children. I had a great time with all of you.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy to have you today. Let us all of us unmute ourselves and say, we love you, Mama.
We love you, Mama.
Thank you. Love you too.
Thank you.
And you're all doing great. I'm learning a lot of things from you too. I'll keep attending your club, listen to Surabhi ma'am and learn a lot from her. She's doing a wonderful job, giving an opportunity to all of us, and we are learning from each other. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you. With this, I end the session. We will meet tomorrow, 2 p.m. Okay? Okay, bye-bye, everyone. Bye.